Breaking news: undercover Israeli forces target Hamas training camps. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, claimed that Hamas operatives were hiding out in 2 Gaza schools, so they raided those schools overnight. Several terrorists from Hamas were killed and others were forced to surrender in the area, according to the Israel Defense Forces. In addition, the military claimed to have found what it called Hamas's underground infrastructure and raided apartment buildings in Khan Yunis that were stocked with weapons. There was no way to independently confirm the reports. This follows U.S. calls for Israel to shift its military strategy away from a wide-ranging offensive and toward more targeted operations against top Hamas figures. According to the health ministry run by Hamas, over 18,000 people have died in Gaza so far, and Israel's main ally has warned that the country risks losing international support due to this high civilian death toll. A senior Houthi official warned that any aggressive action against Yemen would have devastating repercussions. Ali Al-Kaham, a member of the Houthi group's Ansarullah Politburo, warned Al Mayadeen TV late on Friday that any intervention in Yemen would result in severe repercussions and high expenses. In spite of threats from the United States, Israel, and the West, he declared, the Houthis will not abandon the Palestinian cause. He went on to say that attacks against Israel will not end. He claimed that Yemen is prepared to respond to any hostile move by the United States, Israel, or Western countries using all available defensive options. Tragic loss of over 60 journalists in conflict. In Khan Yunis, shrapnel from an Israeli missile attack wounded another journalist, Wael Dadu, and killed one of Al Jazeera's journalists, Samar Abitaqa. Per the Committee to Protect Journalists, over 60 journalists and media personnel have lost their lives since the conflict commenced. After finishing filming and reporting, Dadu and the civil defense were on their way back when they were attacked by a missile. Dadu had already lost his wife, 2 children, and grandchild earlier in the war. 10:00 a.m. The Israeli government has begun looking into the hostage deaths. Israel has begun looking into the circumstances surrounding the assassinations of 3 hostages in the West Bank, whom its forces mistakenly believed posed a threat during operations in a neighborhood of Gaza City. The Israeli army reported that 3 young men, Yotam Hayam, Alon Shamriz, and Samar El-Talalka, were shot. Approximately 1,200 people were killed and an additional 240 were taken hostage during the raids into Israel on October 7 by Hamas. Defense Forces spokesman Daniel Hagari stated that 3 Israeli hostages were killed when the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, mistakenly fired upon them during combat in Shujaa. The IDF conveys its profound condolences for this tragedy and stands with the families in their time of loss. After being brought to Israel for identification, the remains were found to be those of a heavy metal drummer named Hayam, a 25-year-old Bedouin named El-Talalka, and a 26-year-old man named Shamriz. Hundreds of people flocked to Israel's defense ministry in Tel Aviv as word of the incident spread late Friday. They demanded that Netanyahu's government free the 129 hostages who are still held in territory ruled by Hamas. Gaza experiences a communication blackout. During the 2-month conflict, Gaza has experienced one of the longest periods of no communication. The advocacy group netblocks.org reported that internet and telephone lines went down on Thursday evening and remained inaccessible as of Saturday morning. Damage to telecommunications lines in the south has severely disrupted communications with Gaza, according to the UN's Humanitarian Affairs Department.